society groups. Let's listen and then we'll talk.
Regional and sub-regional instruments, namely the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, the African Union Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the Rights of Women in Africa, that's the Maputo Protocol, and the Solemn Declaration on Gender Equity in Africa, and that Kenya has to uphold equality and non-discrimination principles and make effort to attain gender representation, and that the Constitution domesticates is a commitment to safeguard human rights and fundamental freedoms and entrenches the concept of gender equality in Article 27.8, which obligates the state to take legislative and other measures to implement the 2/3 gender principle, and Article 81B, which qualifies Article 27.8 by providing that not more than 2/3 of the members of elective or appointed bodies shall be of the same gender, and that the realization of equality between women and men and the advancement of rights of special interest groups contemplated at Article 100 is a matter of human rights and a condition for realization of social justice. The rest of the affidavit echoes the averments by the second interested party and the petitioners. The second interested party on 14 September 2016, Federation of Women Lawyers Kenya, FIDA, a non-profit, non-partisan members.
And as we mentioned, we're going to be listening in to that ruling that's being delivered a little later in the program. From FIDA, we'll have Wangeshi Wachira to help us break down the import of that decision. So that discussion coming up a little later in the program. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, we are looking at areas where President Uhuru Kenyatta may be having a headache as he tries to make inroads ahead of the general election in August. We've been discussing the Meru situation, and we're going to return to it. But first, we want to cross over and look at what's going on in Western Kenya. Our Sam Ogena is standing by. He's in Bungoma with the governor, Ken Lusaka. Remember, this is also another area where the president was expected to tour, but he had to cancel that decision. Let's find out why. Sam.
Well, thank you so much, Ann Kiguta. Rightly so, this is one of the areas that President Uhuru Kenyatta was expected to tour, but of course he cancelled that trip. It is an interesting region, and we are coming to you from county number 39, that is Bungoma County. It is a county with over 560,000 registered voters, of course adding to the vote basket of the Western region of 1.9 million votes here in Western Kenya. It is, of course, a region that have seen increased activity from the Jubilee administration. Of course, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto making several forays here in this particular region of Western Kenya, Bungoma being a key county, as well as we've seen the duo making trips to Kakamega, Busia, and also Trans-Nzoia. And now just to have a feel of the pulse here in Bungoma County, I'll be joined by the governor here, Mr. Ken Lusaka. And first things first, the cancellation of the Western Kenya tour. You had already made preparations for this. Did it throw everything in disarray?
No, it didn't throw anything into disarray. Actually, we were prepared, but we got communication because of the ongoing verification of papers for the Jubilee Party candidates who are going to run, which was happening yesterday and today. And you know, the party leaders, the president, the deputy party leader, they had a feeling we should put it off so that we concentrate on the party to prepare the candidates. Then after that, next week we are prepared to host the president and the deputy in Western Kenya. Well,
that reason might make sense to the elite person, but for the common Mwananchi who was expecting the president and the deputy, the Mwananchi who was actually warming up to the Jubilee administration here in Western, does it really make sense to them?
It makes sense. Of course, even the president can fall sick and you postpone a trip. So postponing a trip does not mean you have completely cancelled it. It only gives us even more time to prepare adequately to receive the president and deputy president. So the common man is very receptive. Actually, the elites are the ones who might create confusion. In fact, it should be the other way around. It's the elites who may read something else, but the common Mwananchi is ready to receive the president and deputy president anytime they want to come to Western Kenya.
You are a Jubilee point person. Actually, you are the only governor from Western Kenya in the Jubilee Party.
Right.
But given the 2013 trend, whereby President Uhuru Kenyatta only got 45,000 votes from Bungoma County to be specific, Raila Odinga got over 180,000 votes. Do you see this changing?
It's obviously going to change because the mathematics is different. In 2013, the president and the deputy did not have any point man in Western Kenya. That time, you remember, we supported Musalia Mudavadi in the Amani coalition. But this time, as New Ford Kenya, when we formed Jubilee together, at least they have a point man. And the last 3 or 4 days, we've had over 21 rallies in Bungoma, trying to popularize the party and trying to talk to our people. So now that we are the appointment of Jubilee in this region, and we are telling people why they should vote for Uhuru Kenyatta, why they should vote for the Jubilee government, our people are beginning to understand. And therefore, we're expecting a lot of changes. The terrain has changed, and you will see even at the reception when the president comes to Western Kenya next week.
So Bungoma County, to be specific, has nearly 560,000 registered voters. What arithmetic are we talking about probably contributing towards the Jubilee administration?
Obviously, Bungoma is going to deliver very, very many votes, over 200,000 votes. I'm very sure of that. And we're not just saying that people should vote for President Uhuru Kenyatta. It's because of the things that he has done during his presidency in the last 3 or 4 years. And I just want to give an example. We have 4 main roads now as we speak under construction. They are putting tarmac. The road from Chwele to Luahaha is under construction. The road from Kopsiro, Mount Elgon, Kopsiro, Kapsakwany, Kopsiro, Namuela to Chepkube is under construction. The road from Musikoma all the way to Mongati is under construction, and then the road from Misiho to Brigadier, which we are doing jointly with the national government, is also under construction. We have the Kibabi University, which has also gotten a charter during the leadership of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta. Pan paper, which had stalled for many years, over 9 years, is now working. So these are some of the projects that we are telling our people that we have had leaders before who are in other governments. We have had ministers here. We have had people who have been in positions of leadership who have had other governments. These things have not happened. In fact, we witnessed the collapse of most of these things during the past regimes. So now that Uhuru Kenyatta, during his presidency, only 3.5 years, we have seen this. We are telling our people that this is the way to go, because people are interested in development. They are not interested in rhetorics or stories that don't add up to improving their lives.
You are the first party, that is the New Ford Kenya, to fold up and join Jubilee Party, coming from a region that is well perceived as a traditional opposition stronghold. How has it been for you as an individual and also as an entity to join the Jubilee Party?
This area is not, actually it's wrong to assume that it's an opposition zone. Remember in 2002 when NAC took over, Bungoma and Western Kenya in general was in government. Actually, the only time they were in opposition was before multipartyism, when Ford was there. But since 2002, we have been in government. And the only person now, when the senator is in opposition, it does not mean that the whole of Bungoma is in opposition. No. We are saying that, and as a party, we wanted to be part of the evolution of political parties that are based on ideology. This era of having parties that are based on maybe clans or tribes and that kind of thing is what we are saying we don't want. We want to get to the American model or the advanced democracy model, where you have maybe the Republicans and the Democrats, or some strong political parties. So we wanted to be part of that evolution, and that is why we joined. We went to form Jubilee as a strong party, and it would be my wish to also have NASA have their own, remain as one party, so that if we have 2 or 3 parties that are based on ideology are strong, that will be building our democracy, and will be having parties based on ideology, parties that will not fold, parties that are not formed because of winning elections, but parties that will remain in power and be able to steer the country to economic success.
Speaking of economic success, the pan pepper mills, right now it's called the rye pepper mills.
Right.
It was actually the biggest pepper producing company in East Africa.
Right.
But that has become now a shell, to speak. Do you think that what was done is going to get pan pepper mills back to its full potential?
What was done is going to bring it back into full operation. First, in the next 2 years, what rye has done, if you went there even today, you realize that there's a lot of effort. Somebody who has never been to Pan Paper cannot appreciate what has happened. You know, it's another story to live somewhere else and talk about Rai or Pan Paper without appreciating. Pan Paper is about 2 kilometers from here. I can walk there. I pass there every day. The changes that are already there. As we speak now, they have over 100 tons of paper, recycled paper. You know, the line that was commissioned by the president was one for recycled paper. We have 100 tons of paper which are being taken, which have been taken to Nairobi as per Friday last week. Of course, the people who are saying, oh, the Pan Paper was a lie, I'm prepared to sponsor them free of charge. I can pay for them fair to go to Pan Paper and see what is going on. Over 600 people are employed there. And these are some of the flagships that we are telling our people that the Jubilee government has delivered. Of course, adding on what I have also done as a governor of this county. So we want our people to get to a train that is moving.
Well, thank you so much, Governor Ken Lusaka. I hope that you'll be taking us to Pan Paper Mill just to assure Kenyans that the paper mill is working.
Yes, we can walk there.
Thank you so much. Well, Auntie Guta, we're just distilling issues here that is in Bungoma County, the Jubilee position here in Bungoma County, of course, the cancellation of the Western Kenya trip by President Uhuru Kenyatta. The governor here just trying to put things into perspective. And of course, I understand that Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale is in studio. Probably there will be a tete-a-tete between the governor here, Ken Lusaka, and the senator in studio. So just be handing over to you as we prepare the governor to come back on set.
All right, thanks for that. Yes, indeed, Senator Boni Halwale, Kakamega Senator, is with us to discuss the President's cancellation of the Western Tour and Western politics, alongside CDCI MP John Waluke, who is also the chair of Jubilee Bungoma. Gentlemen, good morning. You've both heard what the governor has had to say. Let me start with you, Boni. What are your own thoughts as to why this particular trip was cancelled?
I find it difficult, having listened to Governor Lusaka, to really comment, because as far as the people are concerned, the difference between us, we have been told, and Jubilee, is that NASA has nothing to offer, we are clueless, we are rudderless, and we are only in rhetoric, and that Jubilee, at every turn, it rolls out development. So I was waiting to hear Lusaka enumerate the projects that the president is coming to now not launch, not commission, but after 4 years to come now and open.
Right.
He has failed to do that. Instead, he has told us that he has done 21 rallies of popularizing Jubilee. What he's failing to tell Kenyans is that those 21 rallies are purely for them to earn the money that they are given for those purposes, but they have no impact. In fact, as late as last weekend, he tried to land in Bungoma with a chopper, and he was scared away, not by men, but by little children shouting at him and women. The party called Jubilee has no place in Western, and more importantly, he has attempted to mislead people about bond paper. Governor Lusaka will go down in history as the only governor who presided over a county asset being given away for a song to a private group of entrepreneurs. Pan Paper Webuye is a complex property that is worth over 18 billion shillings. But when they sold it out to Rai, they did so at a paltry 900 million shillings. We are telling Governor Lusaka, my brother, that have you ever sat with governors from the Mount Kenya region and Rift Valley and had them tell you that a single public company has been sold to private developers by the Jubilee government? Why should that be done for only companies in Western Kenya?
Well, look, what is your assessment? Obviously, you've heard the senator saying, look, the Jubilee administration should not be coming to launch projects. It should be coming to open them, which would be proof that there was work being done over the last 4 years. Is that your own thought?
On my onset, what I can say is that there are some projects that are ready for the president to open. Like, let me say, in my constituency, there is this Cheskaki water project that is ready Even the people have started using water before the president opens it. So that is one that I can mention in my constituency, and there are many more in other areas, like in Dalu. There's a girls' secondary school. When he comes, he's going to open. It is ready, and those are projects. I've not known all of them in the whole county, but there are so many projects that the president can open. You
are, of course, the point man in Bungoma. What are your thoughts in terms of penetration of the Jubilee administration into this region, which is largely seen as opposition? What do you think may have changed significantly on the ground to persuade you that you're batting for the winning team, at least in that part of the country?
There are a lot of changes which I can mention. Development is there. It has changed the area. I can talk with confidence that there are so many roads which have not been there. Infrastructure has changed. We have so many roads that are going on being tarmacked. Like in my constituency, there is this Chwele Wahaha road. When I came in, I had Honorable Lusaka was mentioning. That road has been there since independence. It has never been done. But now, as we speak, it is ongoing. It is being tarmacked. Everything is on the side. In my constituency, I can tell the truth that actually there's a lot of change compared to previous governments. Uhuru's government has done a lot. You cannot even compare with Kibaki or President Moi's time. There's a very big change. You know, opposition. I've also been in opposition. In opposition, you can oppose anything, even if you have seen a TV like this, and you cannot. I mean, you can say that this is not a TV, this is a cup, because they are just there to oppose. But for real, there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of development that is going on in this country.
Senator, is the opposition just opposing everything as he's saying? And if not, then what would you say are the substantial issues facing the western belt of the country that the current administration should have dealt with if it was incumbent to have votes in this election?
Precisely, but allow me to beg my brother, Honorable Luke. The fact that you are merely 4 years old in leadership is not an excuse for you to be able to speak to the obvious. If it is true that roads have been done in Western Province, you should not be mentioning the roads just by name. You should be telling us, on road X, meant to be done 50 kilometers, 35 kilometers, so many kilometers have now been done tarmac. Then we would know that the project is ongoing. Yes, Anne, you are right. We were expecting that President Uhuru would not attempt to relaunch projects that are already been launched by the Kibaki government. We were expecting that he completes those projects. Projects that are very important and with massive economic potential to the community include the Kakamega, Kisumu, Webuye, Kitale Road. From the time President Kibaki left office, machines have been removed from the roadside, from the road. Construction has stalled. Every time the president appears there, he relaunches the road, and every time he comes back, he says that in 2 weeks' time work shall resume. Like now, the section between Webuye and Kakamega, which is deplorable, because the president is anticipated to come, for the last 2 weeks, machines have come back on the road. We are telling the president that to come and want to tell the people that you will achieve that which you are supposed to do in 4 years, that you're going to achieve it in 4 months, to us, that is not an attempt to speak to development, but you are simply attempting to bribe voters so that they vote for you.
Lusaka, are these projects being unveiled now or commencing now, whatever the status or case may be just that, bribes to voters?
These projects are being launched by His Excellency the President. He commissioned them. Just like I did mention, we have had governments before and nothing had been done. I think it's dishonest for Senator Khalwale to say that, you know, I did not even enumerate. I enumerated the projects that are ongoing. But I want to answer him on Pan Paper. Pan Paper, first and foremost, was under receivership. And, you know, there had been previous governments which had tried to inject their money, and it didn't work. And since it was under receivership and the long-term creditors, of course, wanted their payment, it was advertised for sale, and the bidder who won the bid bought it to revive it, and as we speak now, it is ongoing, and I mean, there are people who have been employed, paper is now being produced. So I think they should be able to tell us why was it not revived in the previous time. In fact, during that time when Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga was the Prime Minister, they came here and said, lied to the people that it was going to be revived. When they went back, it didn't work even during Kibaki's time. So I think they should appreciate that the effort that has been put there, we've tried to fix the problem of Pan Paper in the best way possible in the circumstances. And as per the roads, I did enumerate the roads that are ongoing and work is going on. A tarmac is not a toilet that you'll build in one day. It takes time. You need to mobilize. They are mobilized and works are ongoing. I was surprised the other time when my senator was live on TV saying that no work has gone on. The president has recommissioned this road 3 times. I think let's be honest as leaders. Let them admit that during their time they failed, but things are working during this time of Uhuru Kenyatta and the Jubilee government.
Governor, hold that thought. I want to switch gears to talk about the politics of the region quickly, because a little later in the program we'll be having ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi on the show. But Bonnie, let me start with you. Western, though it has been seen as a traditional opposition bloc, and now, of course, with a majority of its leaders in the NASA movement, we have not heard from them the very strong and loud agitations of a presidential candidate coming from that region, as you can perhaps in comparison to the Ukambani region, where day after day we hear the Kalonzo team insisting that he should be the man on the ticket. Is the western part of this country decided to form the next government or to lead the next government?
What is happening in Wiper, with due respect, is nothing but a sideshow. In the NASA coordinating committee, backed with the NASA technical team, there is no provision that identification of the flag bearer will rely on agitation by members of a particular community. So what happened in Imali and so on and so forth is a sideshow. We are not paying attention to it. The reason why the Mudavadi team and the Wetangula team is quiet is because the two have confidence in the people they have named to those committees. And because we are now at the tail end of making a pronouncement on who will be this flag bearer, we are not bothered with those antics that I saw happening in Lower Eastern. Just because Governor Lusaka said it, I cannot let it fly. Governor Lusaka, I tell you, the reason why you have this enthusiasm about privatization of Pan Paper is just because you fail to disclose what interest President Uhuru has in Rai Paper. Maybe you want to use this opportunity.
What interest do you believe he has?
Yes, we want him to use this opportunity to set our concerns to rest, our fears.
What are your concerns?
They are that President Uhuru is a partner of Rai and he's actually advancing his personal interests. They have to clear this. So and as leaders of the community...
Is there proof for that kind of allegation that you're making? What evidence? Because it's very easy to allege, and we've heard this from various governors across the country whenever it comes to a certain development project happening in an opposition area, that the president has interest. That's why such and such is happening, without it really being substantiated. What substance do you have behind such fears or claims?
It's a fact of law that if you are a holder of a public office like President Uhuru, you must open yourself to scrutiny, you must be accountable and transparent. So any other public officer like Senator Bonnie Khalwale, who also happens to hold a public office that allows him to oversight other constitutional officers, is perfectly in order to challenge the president to clarify that he has no interest in
So you do not have any evidence, is what you're saying. You just have fears.
That is for another day.
No, you're talking about it today, so that's for today.
Today I've said enough. Today I've said enough, and it's up to the President and Governor Lusaka. And by the way, it is not a laughing matter. When people look at pan paper, they see the failed mill or factory that they see in the pictures. But there are other assets, mega assets, up to and including all the way to Nairobi, which have gone with this misadventure. And it is not something that we are going to leave to rest there. We will pursue it. If somebody is using the powers of incumbency to then disenfranchise a community, they have to answer for it.
Governor Lusaka, let me allow you to respond to that quickly before we go back to the politics of Westerns.
Yeah, I want to respond to that because I think the Honorable Khalwale is being selfish. Is aware of the shoe who knows where it pinches. Talk to a Mwananchi in Webuye who lives here, who sells mbogas to those who are working in pan paper, to those who have landlords who have houses here that now people are beginning to live here, to the upcoming Webuye town now which was dead, and you will see that Honorable Khalwale is being selfish and not sincere. I remember one time he came to eat chicken at a popular joint called Mama Sara and didn't see the smoke, and he said pan paper was not working. I think I want to challenge him to come and let's visit pan paper together. These are the things, allegations he's making are very serious allegations, and I think they need to be investigated because it's wrong to implicate a whole leader and say he has shares when you're just saying that it should come out to clarify. I think the most important thing for us is to bring back Webuye and Western Kenya to life through the pan paper, which is now working, is going to create employment, is going to generate other economic activities in the area. So I think the long and short of it is that in the next 2 years or 3 years, pan paper will be fully back on its feet and the people are going to benefit. Let's not mislead our people. Let us not lie to our people to gain political mileage.
Okay, let me come to Aluke now to return to the question of the politics of the region, and in particular the bid we've seen by this at least part of the country over several years, to have its own at really the helm of politics and going for the presidential ticket. Do you believe that this vote would coalesce around a possible naming of a presidential candidate from the NASA ticket emanating from the Western region?
To me, I can say that NASA was in, I saw it in Bungoma once and also Kakamega when they came as a team. When Prime Minister came to Bungoma is when I saw that NASA was seen on that day. But after he left, it died. I can say, like in Bungoma town, in Bungoma County, we are, I believe that it is Jubilee that is now dominating. So there's no NASA anywhere. Mheshimiwa, like the Senate, our senator is quiet. We don't even see him. Nobody is campaigning for NASA this time. It is Jubilee that it is moving on the ground. So at the end of the day, I believe we are going to deliver 65–70% in Bungoma County to Jubilee. That's what I can say.
What about you, Governor? Are you concerned that should a presidential flag bearer be named from the Western region, then that collapses any inroads that the Jubilee administration has made through yourself and perhaps the other handful of Western Kenyan leader supporters?
No, it will just obviously complicate a bit because every community will have an interest in seeing, maybe you can say their own, in quotes, being at the helm of leadership. That would not deter Jubilee from campaigning. It will only complicate. It will need changing strategy on how now we approach it. But the way it is, as it is now, I think Jubilee has a head start, has a headway, because we are looking at time is not a strategy. Time is not a strategy. Even if they say they will name their presidential candidate in the next month will come if we are alive. So we are waiting to see them name, of course, the technical people from this region who are there. In fact, they are the majority. If they don't produce any of them, any of the people from Western Kenya, as a flag bearer, they should not talk to us again. They should forget, because then they would have failed the community, and this is what we are foreseeing.
And if they do name a leader from Western Kenya, should we expect you to switch sides in solidarity with the rest of the community?
We are saying that we will now change strategy on how we approach the politics, but we'll cross the bridge once we get there. But we are saying that as it is, we are ready on the ground. We are doing all that is possible to be able to sell our party.
Well, and we all hope to be alive next month, I'm sure. Thanks very much for this chat this morning on Western Kenya Politics. Governor Ken Lusaka, Senator Boni Halwale, and CDC MP John Waluke, thank you for staying with us. We're getting up to the top of the hour. In the next hour, we're going one-on-one, head-to-head with the Nairobi Governor, Evans Kidero. He's with us in studio. He'll be talking to us about Nairobi politics, as well as, of course, the budget, which is being read out tomorrow. You don't want to miss that and much more. ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi also joining us in the program. Keep it Citizen Extra.